Samsonite, Sam Merlin. Who was your favorite Power Ranger?
I don't even want to say this for reasons I've learned lately, but it was the red one. And
Well, I have a meme that I want you to look at, and I would like you to explain to our listeners what it looks like.
all right. Okay, so it is the red Power Ranger, and it is also Hitler. And it's Hitler saying, kill the J ... and it's the red Power Ranger saying, nice quote.
Yeah. So kind of unfortunate. The Red Ranger was a lot of people's favorites. When I was a kid, my friends and I would play Power Rangers, and I would always want to play as the Black Ranger. Of course, there were always the arguments that I can't play the Black Ranger because I'm not black. But that argument soon faded away when everyone would fight over who gets to play the Red Ranger, or the Green Ranger, or the White Ranger. So the Black Ranger was mine every time. Now, the Black Ranger, Zach, and the Red Ranger, Jason, were played by actors Walter Jones and Austin St. John.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to see Walter Jones at one of the last cons that I worked.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Probably one of my favorite people I've seen at a con that I actually worked at.
Was this at the Peoria Con?
Probably.
Okay, I feel like there was one there last year. Now that I'm starting to think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start to lose track of which
right.
because I've done so many at this point.
Okay.
But yeah, my favorite Ranger, Zach, along with the red guy, left the Power Rangers, and they gave this explanation as to why. Austin St. John and Walter Emmanuel Jones and Tui Trung all exited the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ahead of Season 3 over pay issues.
Okay.
The Jason, Zach, and Trini actors reportedly did not accept the salary offer to renew their contracts going on with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 3, which is why the original Red, Black, and Yellow Rangers were replaced. The in-universe explanation as to why why Jason, Zach, and Trini quit the Power Rangers was the same for all of them. The trio was selected to participate in a peace conference in Switzerland.
Oh my God.
Zach and Austin, they had both expressed sort of regret and concern that their friends in the Power Rangers did not unionize with them against the new pay change, or
Right.
against the new salary. And they didn't think they were being paid enough, and so essentially they left. And they also don't really communicate with each other too much. And in fact, the Green Ranger, Jason, is the guy who played the Green Ranger, whose name is Tommy. Jason played Tommy, who's the Green Ranger.
Okay.
He and Austin had a falling out, and they didn't communicate so well after that. So we are going to be talking about Austin St. John today, the guy in the meme who seems to be praising Hitler. And of course, whenever somebody is compared to being a Nazi, it is reasonable to be skeptical about what is being accused. So, what does this mean, and why is it being spread around? I will let Austin say it for himself.
Yup. Yup.
I love this awkward
It
silence
wasn't Han
that starts
Solo,
here.
right? No,
After
no,
this.
just kidding. It was Harrison Ford. That's right. That's right. No, I made that up. I think. God, that's funny.
It's so awkward.
Oh my God. This is
So,
great.
is there anything you need people out there to know? For sure. I mean, even
Yeah.
if it's just cons and this and that, and
Sure. Yeah. I've just re-released my major website. So if you're looking for my con site or my con schedule, it's there. You just go to www.austinst.biz and you can find my con sites, my e-commerce, my clothing line, my jewelry line. You can find my comics there.
clothing line. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah.
Let's hear about that.
So I have some Ranger-oriented clothes, and then I'm building a warrior line where I will go back in history, from pre-Greek days as far back as I can. I'm going to have famous quotes from warriors of all ilks, including the terrible ones.
Wow.
Good
Hitler
idea.
was,
Yeah.
a demon on steroids, but he had some pretty good one-liners.
Yeah, I'll be darned.
Man.
Oh boy, and it just gets better from there. Actually, that's right. Former Red Power Ranger turned professional elevator fart, Austin St. James has decided that endorsing Hitler is a good idea. And on March 12th, he posted on Twitter, exploring history's leaders. I'm blending lessons from the past into a unique t-shirt line. From heroes to villains, every quote tells a story. And the picture is of Gandhi. And he's going to have Hitler and Gandhi in the same clothing line.
I don't even know it.
He goes on to say, this is more than fashion. It's a conversation starter. Now, yes, it did start some conversations, but most of them involved calling Austin a douchebag. Now, why would he do such a thing? A comment on Reddit with a respectable negative 18 points seems to have the answer.
Okay.
I mean, I don't agree with Austin St. James, but when fans constantly shove Mighty Morphin Power Rangers down your throat, he's trying to make his life something that isn't Power Rangers related. You may not think it's annoying, but every second of every day, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers constantly being annoying, it takes a toll. Of course, we all know, as this commenter pointed out, if you're a former Power Ranger, you only have two choices. That is Power Ranger or Hitler. Even though the Blue Ranger went on to be a gay rights activist, and the Black Ranger is a dance choreographer with training in tap, jazz, hip-hop, salsa, a variety of Latin dances, and even ballet, to name a few. But I get it. People shoving Power Rangers down your throat can probably get annoying. That's why Austin doesn't bring it up. He rarely ever brings up being the Red Ranger. And in fact, he definitely doesn't bring it up all the time. Let me read from his social media. Oh, it looks like in his 7 most recent posts, only 6 of them are about being the Red Ranger. And only 100% of those have Power Ranger hashtags on them.
Oh my God.
You see, he's so tired of Power Ranger stuff that he hardly ever mentions it all the fucking time. But that's just Twitter. Maybe he doesn't even run his own Twitter. Who
Maybe
knows?
not.
Who
Maybe.
knows? Who knows? So I checked his official YouTube channel. That's definitely him. And it tells a completely different story. Out of his 7 most recent videos, only 6 are about being in the Power Rangers.
Only 6.
Only 6 out of 7,
Okay.
yeah. You know, so yeah, he hardly ever mentions it. You see, like he definitely doesn't bring it up at all every second of every fucking day.
He definitely didn't just live off the royalties and do nothing else the whole time.
But he did do some other things, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
But he was concerned, you see. He was a victim of a fan base that loved him too much. So of course he has to start selling Hitler merchandise. What else is he going to do? But he's more than just a Nazi-loving former Power Ranger. So let's look into St. John a bit. Austin St. John was born on... Austin St. John was never born. That's because his legal name is Jason Lawrence Geiger. And it's only fitting considering that Jason was the Red Power Ranger, but I'm a bit surprised that his name was not Tommy, because apparently he's trying to become the White Power Ranger. Geiger, however, is an appropriate last name for him, because his presence is a warning to stay away. Jason Lawrence Geiger was born on September 17th, 1974. His father was a Marine and a martial artist, which might have encouraged 2 things. Obviously, his love for martial arts. In fact, his father taught him kendo, and Geiger claims to have been practicing since 5 years old, which would be a neat backstory if he didn't decide to put it so strangely. During a Q&A, Geiger said, quote, "My father was into the arts, and he started showing me things when I was pretty much a sperm."
You gotta be kidding me.
Not fucking.
What?
He actually said that shit.
In public? Like,
Oh yeah, for a
Oh my
Q&A,
God.
like in front of fans. Okay, cool. You know,
Okay.
I'm sure that really paid off in the MMA Bukkake League. The second thing his father's background likely encouraged is Geiger's love for the military. Now, this segment, jokes aside, this segment from the Q&As, this is actually kind of admirable. So he was asked, "What have you been up to since the show?" And he said, "I left the show in my early 20s, and after that I traveled and did a lot of martial arts learning and instructing all around the world. I finished my bachelor's degree in sports science health studies, and I went into emergency medicine and ended up working about 12 years on the street as a paramedic. Then I went to the Middle East and spent the last 4 years as a medic with tactical operations attached to the military operations taking care of our soldiers."
Okay.
Kind of cool. So,
Surprising.
yeah. Like, to have that level of integrity is a little shocking.
Didn't see that coming.
Considering how his behavior has been. Then he was asked why the Middle East, and he said, I hear all the time how myself or one of my co-stars inspired them to be stronger, to be better, or to survive. And I don't think the fans understand that I was a late teenager, young man, by the time I was leaving the show. And I had all these people who were looking up to me and expected so much. I don't think they understand how they inspired me to try to do something with my life that I felt was deserving of their belief and adoration. I felt this is something I could do and be proud of, and this way I could save lives for real instead of just playing that on TV. That's genuinely fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty fucking cool. Like, you gotta give it to him. And what's great, though, about this, you know, about his military experience and his experience with soldiers and all that, is that unlike the Power Rangers fan, he doesn't shove it down your throat. This is a quote from somebody who attended one of Geiger's panels. Went to one of his Q&As forever ago, and he basically spent the entire time talking about how much he loved the military. I mean, it's fine if you want to support or whatever, but that was literally all he talked about the entire time, how much he loved the military. Then I met him, and he was such a douchebag. Not surprising he'd want to market Hitler, LOL. Absolute polar opposite of JDF experiences. So JDF refers to the Green Ranger.
Okay.
Who is reportedly a super cool and super nice guy.
Complete opposite.
Yeah. You know, so if the Green Ranger's so great, let's look into him. Professional MMA record, 1 win, 0 losses. Amateur MMA, 4 wins, 0 losses.
Damn.
Children, 4 kids, 0 endorsements of Hitler.
That's all you need.
But unfortunately, Jason died of suicide in 2022.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Not everybody can be an undefeated martial artist. But what Geiger could have done instead is trade places with the Yellow Ranger and die in a fucking car crash.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't know any of this.
Maybe I'm being a bit harsh. He made a mistake. It's not like Geiger has done anything fraudulent or ridiculously stupid and illegal, right? Right?
I guess we'll see.
If that happened, it would show up on a government website like, I don't know, justice.gov.
Right.
19 individuals have been named in a federal indictment charging them with violations of the Eastern District of Texas. The indictment, returned by a federal grand jury on May 12, 2022, charges the defendants with conspiracy to commit wire fraud. The following 18 defendants have either been arrested or summoned for appearance before a federal judge. And this is exactly how this reads. So it's got a list of names here, and I see on this list Jason Lawrence Geiger, a.k.a. Austin St. John, a.k.a. the Red Ranger.
Oh my god!
It actually reads that way on
That's
the
probably
government
the only
site.
one that has that extra stuff.
Yeah, like a bunch of AKAs. Okay, so before I continue, I am legally obligated to say a grand jury indictment is not evidence of guilt. All defendants are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in the court of law. In March 2020, Congress passed the CARES Act to help combat the economic effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Part of this was the Paycheck Protection Program, which was to help certain small businesses ensure that their employees continued to be paid even while the business is less profitable during the shutdown. This was done to prevent mass layoffs. However, the urgency with which the payments and loans were rolled out didn't leave a lot of room for scrutiny, and of course, some assholes took advantage of that lack of oversight. Now, obtaining assistance was very easy, but that didn't mean the money received would not be investigated later. Geiger is among 18 defendants in a case in which they are accused of attempting to defraud lenders and the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program. According to the indictment, the scheme was led by 2 people named Michael Hill and Andrew Moran. Quote, Hill is alleged to have recruited co-conspirators to use an existing business or create a business to submit applications to obtain Paycheck Protection Program funding. Once enlisted, Moran is alleged to have assisted his co-conspirators with the application paperwork, including fabricating supporting documentation and submitting the applications through online portals. On the applications, the defendants are alleged to have misrepresented material information such as the true nature of their business, the number of employees, and the amount of payroll. If found guilty, So this is exactly what Geiger's accused of. You know, pretending he has more employees than he does. You know, pretending that he has this small business that he needs this paycheck protection thing for.
There was a lot of that around here too.
Yeah, a lot of fraud.
Yeah.
And he has been indicted for fraud as well. And if he's found guilty, or if any of the 18 defendants are found guilty, including Geiger, he could be sentenced up to 20 years in prison. So
Damn. This explains the warrior line.
yeah, he's got to fund that. He's got to fund that prison thing somehow. Now, this is just speculation here. I don't know if this is true or not, but a pattern I've seen in a lot of people who get caught committing fraud or something ridiculous like that. One thing that they often do is that they go far right. And then because they know that they could use that pool of supporters to pretend that the government is just after them for just being a right winger, you know?
Very true.
And I'm wondering if maybe that's the path he's trying to take with this whole Hitler thing. It's hard to say, but
that's a good point. Considering just how outrageous the whole thing is. Like, Hitler,
Like how is that okay? And the picture is Mahatma Gandhi. How are you going to put them on the same level? Like, that is insane.
He's just
Oh my god. And one of the people who he's going to put quotes on there from is Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah, that was right.
I would love if Chuck Norris comes out and says, "I don't want to be part of your fucking clothing line."
If it gets to him somehow. But
Yeah,
it's like he's like trying to just go as extreme as possible. He's gonna have Jesus on there probably.
Oh yeah, Jesus, Hitler, and Gandhi. That really mixes well. He also said he's going to have Bruce Lee.
Yes, yep.
And all that, and it's so stupid. Like, it's just
the whole idea. Even without the Hitler thing, like, I was already like, this is a stupid idea. Warrior line.
It's insane.
So annoying.
I'm picturing like an Ed Hardy kind of style too. You know, like really douchey looking.
You know, there'll be one with like a picture of him and a quote as well. But also, I was thinking, like, that was at the very end of that podcast where he announced that, wasn't it?
Yep,
God, they had to be like, man, we just struck gold with this one.
Yeah.
That was what I was
the only
thinking.
thing is, though, like, I wish there would have been some pushback from them, you know?
I think they had to have been stunned, like, what?
Yeah, like, he didn't
What did they
he didn't say that.
What else did they really say after that?
No, well, one of them says, well, I'll be darned. Like, that's not the right reaction.
No.
The right reaction is,
like,
what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah. That would have been the best reaction. I would have loved to hear that kind of reaction. So to hear him like scrambling afterwards would have been priceless.
Yeah, struggling for an answer. No,
crashing noises.
You hear his chair fall over as he's getting up.
Oh man.
Oh God. So who's your favorite Power Ranger now?
Literally, probably the pink one, because I did see that she had like made a statement on it. That
she responded with, some people need a publicist.
Yeah, that was it. That was good.
I love that response. It's so good. It's very funny.
Simple and perfect.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Goodbye, everybody.